One. Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Mark. You're welcome to your favorite channel on YouTube, Diaspora Radio. Um, this is a channel for all diasporans, all African diasporans. Wherever you are, if you're out of the country, if you are anywhere in any continent, you are part of this channel. We discuss politics, business, relationships, and uh, headlines review from Africa, Nigeria. Today I have in the house with me a regular co-anchor, IK, you're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Mm. Also, we have a new person in the house. Our brother's name is Olisa Ebuka. Uh, Olisa Ebuka, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, IK is from Philly. Now, Philly, you there, Abi Baba?
And I feel like day now. I don't leave you guys for Midwest.
Let me see the same code. Code. That's how I go past this Midwest.
No, wait till the Midwest get cold now. We there for Philadelphia. We never experience cold for like Ohio or Michigan, no, or even Indiana. So
Oh, and I don't get
yeah, yeah. But it's cold though. It was in early 40s today, so about yeah.
How
Hmm.
about Ebuka? Ebuka, you there Indiana, Abi?
Yes, I'm in Northwest Indiana. Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so you're welcome. So today, last week we talked about the NSAS protest and all of that stuff. What's next? So today, taking a look at what we're going to talk about. First, we want to talk about there's a news. Let me share my screen somewhere. There's a news about the U.S. Marine. They went to Nigeria and rescued one of their citizens. Any of us we hear about that news?
I did, man. I did.
Yes, I
Yeah,
did. I heard about it.
it's
Uh,
something.
how did you feel when you heard the news? Anybody can talk. It's okay. Like,
Oh, okay. I'll be honest, I didn't really feel good. You guys, the way the news, they made it, I guess because Nigeria is one of the biggest countries, one of the biggest countries in Africa. It kind of sounded like the kidnapping was done in Nigeria and they came to Nigeria to rescue the person, whereas the kidnapping wasn't done it didn't happen in Nigeria. The person was kidnapped in the jail, but the kidnappers took the person to Nigeria. Then the U.S. Marine went to Nigeria and rescued the person. But the way the whole thing was going on, and also being that um, with the whole politics and the election too, I felt like it's gonna be a little bit of win
okay,
uh,
like, it's good.
to Trump, knowing fully well how Americans get swayed up when it comes to issue of defending America or something like so in their own mind, like the president was able to give order for someone to go to another country and rescue somebody, like that picture or whatever. I didn't like I'll be honest, I want an American to be rescued, but I feel like the timing and also the situation that is happening in my home country, so I didn't really feel so good about the situation. So yeah,
Okay.
that's. Mm-hmm.
Uh, well, yes. Ibuka, what do you think about the implications? What are the possible implications on U.S. visa uh, right now with this rescue? Do you think it's like they will impose more restrictions with this? Is Nigeria going down in terms of getting U.S. visa? What do you think? What do you make of this
So,
news?
so I think with what's going on now with the recent news and the trends, I believe it's going to get more difficult for the Nigerians to gain entry. Already there have been restrictions on Nigerians that, the restriction on Nigerians have been stepping up gradually. Restrictions have been rising slowly and quietly over time in recent. So I know this definitely will place another toll. But the looking deeply at the US, when I study the US, there is something about them. They still pick who they want to pick. they still pick up who they want. Because, for instance, even in the heat of what is going on right now, I know people who got scholarship to school in the US, who just got visa, even in this commotion. They just got visa issued to them in the last 2 weeks, and they are leaving the US. They are leaving Nigeria for the US even now.
Wow.
So these are people who got scholarships, who had outstanding performance in SAT and all. So some of them are leaving. Some are leaving Unilag and a few other schools coming to the US in the next few weeks and months in this same situation. So for the US, to the best of my understanding, studying how they've been operating over these years, they will still do what they want to do. They'll still bring in who they want to bring in. And it doesn't matter, but they are the ones who select, So I think in terms of effect, it might not have a serious effect. It might not have, there might not be a big difference right now. You get what I mean? Like the sanctions or the restrictions won't be so much different than they already are at the moment. But of course, the reputation is going to affect the reputation of Nigerians and definitely of the US, and definitely it will put fear. Sorry, it will put fear in a lot of people applying for visas and all, because now they know it will become difficult. It will become tougher for them. So definitely there will be an effect, but it might not be as different. It might not be so much a big deal right now in terms of the difference, because already with the Trump administration and with the direction in which they are moving, it's already been a lot of bans and restrictions, and it's already been much more difficulty for people of Nigeria and those with high population in the US. So
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I was thinking that this news will only like worsen the restrictions we already have, And right now, I think do is the embassy open? Do we know if that embassy in Nigeria are they allowing people to for visa interviews and all of that? Do we know?
oh yeah, so for the Lagos Abuja embassy has been open for a while, and they've been conducting interviews. So, but the Lagos embassy in Victoria Island was shut down briefly for some days. That was just due to the curfew. But they are scheduled to reopen by next week.
So does it mean people are still applying for this traveling visa? What do they call that?
Yes, yes, absolutely. People are still applying, but a lot of people were waived. Some people were waived. Some people's interviews were waived. Those who applied for reasons like medical, and those who had applications such as immigrant applications due to work skill. Some of those were waived. Most of those were waived. While the rest that were for either coming in as a student or regular visiting, and the rest are still on the regular scheduled queues. And then they've been rescheduling them due to inconveniences. That's due to the delay. What they've been doing is rescheduling people, and then the queue has been changing. The order of the queue has been changing, and then some people's appointments were some people were allowed to reschedule appointments in Abuja. Those who already had in Lagos were allowed to pick a slot in Abuja and join the queue
Okay,
while
but
Lagos is shut down.
did but what about fall? This fall did any Nigerian come from? I mean, are Nigerians allowed to travel from Nigeria to the US right now? Do you know?
Whether what?
Is there any traveling from Nigeria to US? Is it due to this COVID and all these other stuff?
Yes, yeah. To the best, yeah. From what I'm aware of, I know people who are about traveling in 3 weeks, in about three weeks to a month,
From
and
the
they are traveling out from Lagos
oh
through through the Middle East to US. So I know Ethiopian Airlines Ethiopian Airlines has, for example, has flights scheduled for December. They have flights scheduled for December and for late November that are going to move. So they're already scheduled to resume flights.
All right.
Yeah,
But
I think it,
in the other direction though, there have been flights moving into going towards Lagos from different parts of the US, from Chicago, New York, Houston, Atlanta.
yeah, I think they lifted the ban. That was a couple of weeks ago because I don't know if you remember I told you about my auntie that lost the husband due to COVID. So they did a songs of praise or something in New Jersey. So I
Yeah.
went there. I met a couple of people that came from Nigeria like 2 days before that day. So they were saying that they lifted the ban because there was a ban that was placed during that period of time. The whole COVID was happening. There was an international ban that was placed. So, but they lifted the ban, let's say, like almost a month ago, a month plus. So yeah, people do come over now. Yeah, but they still, it's kind of rigorous and strict than it used to be. Because immigration laws have been and policies have been put in place since Trump administration, and I guess that's where a lot of Africans here in diaspora, mostly in America, are kind of really feeling like they really want Biden to win or something because they feel like a lot of immigration laws and what even eyes that are also you know taking people back and deportation and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, I think yeah, people do come over, but there are a lot of strictness and rigorous process people go through to be able to come over.
Okay. Yeah, if you are just joining us, this is Diaspora Radio. We're talking about the implications of visa of this US citizen rescue, how it's going to affect us as Nigerians. And so far, we've contributed immensely in a positive way. And with all the contributions so far, I don't think it will be as tough, like Ebuka said. So that will be that. Then we'll move on to the next topic we're going to talk about, which is the NSAS protest. The discovery of the camera by Fashola. I don't know if you can look at my screen. I shared my screen. I'll play a video right now.
Inspector Fash.
First of all, let me pause this. This is not a CCTV, Abby. What is this? This is a camcorder. Let me look at it real
Yeah,
good.
that's a camcorder.
This is a camcorder, right?
Yes, it's not a CCTV camera.
So according to what we looked at, they said he came for, well, what is it called? Wasn't visiting. Sure, I don't really understand what they go on for that Nigeria. And this camera was just there waiting, or I don't understand. What do you think, Ike?
So, so what I think that really happened, how let's say there's a contract, the government or whatever have to go through just to look through how things really went through. So this particular situation was like having, the protest has happened, situation has happened. So they are kind of trying to inspect, see what really happened, like what exactly is the situation that happened. So that's exactly what they were trying to do. So it's like, okay, is there any damage that happened? What really happened? It's like an assessment. That's exactly what really happened. You know, it's like let's assess and see exactly. Okay, basically, Lakey people were killed. Okay, or that cameras were taken down. Okay, was camera really taken down? Were people really killed? So it's like sending a representative. It's like the government sending a representative to go and assess to kind of inspect what exactly happened at Lekki Toll Gate. So, but we know how Nigeria is. There's always a drama. There is always something, Since since we've heard about Python swallowing 36 million, naira, I'm no longer surprised of anything happening any longer, you
Eh,
know.
so,
Yeah.
do you think the camera was there before, or do you think it was planted? What's your opinion of it?
I think it was planted. I wasn't. I don't think. I think everything that it. I think it's just it's just a rules,
Sorry,
like a
Mark. Let me
deflection.
interject here. The different groups have been there. Loma and Waste Management and some other groups have been there. There are videos of it. There are records of it. There's evidence. They have been checking, scouring the whole place for a while now, for days, and cleaning up. So they had been looking around clearly. They've been looking around very closely for days before this so-called camera was planted, because it was definitely planted there. So this is just the government playing, in my own understanding of it, I think it is serious. It shows that there is so much pressure playing, so much pressure felt by them this time around. Like never before, they are under serious pressure to answer questions, and people have woken up. Citizens have woken up seriously,
Yeah.
and it is very obvious. It's evidence to them. Evidence to them. They can feel the pressure so deeply.
It's
They
not
can
just
feel it better
entertainment.
than they've ever done. So right now, this is just the government trying to play a script and trying to answer some questions by all means, because they know that eyes are watching them heavily, that they are being
Yeah.
heavily observed. So this is just this is to show that they are clearly afraid. The government is clearly afraid, because the camera was obviously planted from the look of things,
Then what
and
kind of evidence can
the
come out from this
script
kind of
played by bringing in Fashola just shows that they know that we were losing trust. We've lost trust already, so they are just looking for ways to keep the conversation going, or to try shut us up, or to try buy time. But
But I had a rumor that, or is it something I watched from YouTube that Fashola is kind of, he just got that camera and he's not in affiliation with any of all this. He just got it so that maybe Tinubu will, that he's not in good terms with Tinubu, and maybe he has the so Fashola now has the evidence of the shooting, so he's going to use it in his own favor. Maybe the government will want to, try to exchange the camera information
mm,
for his own political advancement. But what I'm trying to ask is, what would possibly be in that camp, even if it's planted now? How would they doctor? What amount of doctoring can be done that would make it look as if it's the same as that lucky shoot? That's my wonder.
well, Mark, they don't need to do any much doctoring. You know that people think it was only DJ Switch and a few people that were live that night.
Yeah,
No, there were actually many more people live that night. And right now, and recently, it's been realized, or it's been made public, that there are two drone footages already. So there are two drone footages of the same incident. So already they have enough to work with, from Instagram live broadcasts, from some Facebook live broadcasts. They already have enough to work with. So even the position of that camera, of the so-called camera, looks like a position where, looks very close to the position that some of the videos which have already been released of the incident came from.
mm-hmm.
Because if I don't know if you observed, there were some videos that seem to have come from the back of the soldiers, from behind the soldiers shooting.
Yeah.
So already there are videos from the angle in which they claim that camera was stationed. Because definitely the camera was most likely planted, but the angle in which the camera was planted, there are already videos circulating from that angle. So those videos are enough to be used. And this thing you said, I'm just hearing about it now, and I don't know how true it is, but this is Nigeria we're talking about. So trust me, anything is possible.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
it might not work because that's in terms of Fashola. If this really is it, if this is what he's up to, then it might backfire. It might backfire this time around because if you've been following up on the reactions, you realize that a lot of people who had trusted Fashola before or who still held Fashola in high esteem have gotten him cancelled recently because of this, which he played out.
Yeah. I
So they
think,
cancelled him.
yeah, I think if I to add what you already said, Ebuka, I think what if Fashola or whatever cabal or whatever group he is in plan to use it against Tinubu, I don't think we are gonna be able to say, kind of thing. Like if they have plan or if that camera definitely has something against Tinubu. That's why I still agree with you saying it's a rumor, it's not true. So I feel like, and again, if something in there is something that is worth trying to tell us, like whatever in the camera will tell us exactly what really happened, by now we should be able to say. It's like having somebody getting shot, like a black person getting shot, and now we know that the cops are wearing a body cams,
Yeah, yeah.
and now we are asking the cops to show for days and weeks and months or whatever until the whole thing now subsides. They start showing the footage. So I think that's what exactly is gonna play here. So what's gonna play here is like Fashola discovered or found a camera. But for us to know what is in the camera, I don't think any of us is going to see what is in the camera because definitely nothing in the camera is worth saying. Then, as regards to the rumor again, if it's something they want to really use against, by now they must have showed us what is in the camera that so they will be able to use that against Tinubu. Or we shouldn't. They wouldn't have even shown us that Fashola discovered it because politics, you don't show all your cards. Mostly when you are working against your enemy or working against anybody you feel like is your competitor. So, so that's why I feel like all this is just a gimmick to show like, oh, there's a camera that will prove exactly what happened. But this camera, we're not gonna see the footage. We're not gonna see anything, and days and weeks and months, even years are gonna go by. That's what I feel about the situation. It's
And
Nigerian
again,
government. Yeah.
and again, talking about gimmicks, there's another thing I wanted to point out. The truth about it, I've always, for those who have been following me, and not just me, so many of us have always observed and believed without without so much doubt that the current crop of politicians, most of them from within APC and PDP, are not enemies at all. Most of them on the oppression side are friends. They are in the same circle. Sometimes,
Uh,
they just play out funny drama to give the impression that they are opposing each other or fighting. But when
yeah.
you take a closer look, you see that they're not really fighting. Look at Atiku, for instance.
Yeah.
Atiku is not really fighting with anybody. He's the same person who sponsored Buhari during the elections in 2015, and then he claimed he was opposing. And what they do, the tribunal they set up after rigging the whole election to bring Buhari back in, though we don't know if, we can't say for sure if Buhari or Atiku won as a 2019, but look at that, for example. You can see the way Atiku just quietly left the whole thing lying low to show that they're not really opposing. So they're just playing gimmicks on us. So I think what it seems like they do, the ruling oppressors do to Nigerians is that when it seems like we're coming together and after them, they start to play out gimmicks. They
If
start
Ghana
a
conquers
lot of
Nigeria
drama to
now,
show, to pretend to act like they are fighting each other, like they are fighting within their camps, just to give us
the impression.
maybe
Like,
to give us something to run after
yeah.
or
Yeah, just a
something
distraction.
to
Yeah,
distract
just
us,
a
exactly, just to give us some
yeah,
distraction. So most people shouldn't be fooled about it. They
yeah,
might they might be fully in sync. They might be trying to play the game together just because they
yeah,
can see that the Nigerian people have
and
united against them now. So they might just be
yeah,
trying to play out some drama to buy time,
yeah.
like I said.
I think too in politics there's no constant enemy. It's all about interest. Like you don't have like, oh, this is your. That's why even in PDP person that will be, because we've seen occasions where it'll be like, oh, PDP, great big wigs are fighting against APC great big wigs, and then their fans and the thugs of these different parties are fighting, maiming each other, killing each other, doing a lot of stuff against each other. Then later on, we hear that these people are in a convention hugging themselves. Later, we even hear that their children are getting married. The daughter of a big wig in PDP is
Exactly.
getting married to a son of a big wig in AP. Like, so when you do the whole math, and that's why I keep telling people, just people should understand that it, they should leave sentiments and emotion, all those stuff. Let them look more into reality. Who's gonna deliver something for us, not based on who sings praises or who plays based on our emotion or based on our religion or tribe or all this kind of stuff. Because these are all gimmicks they use to distract us from what we want. And that's why they feel threatened this time around this NSAR. Because in this NSAR, it hasn't happened since even before and after until now, the Civil War that happened in 1967, where all tribes kind of unite together, and we didn't talk about this tribe or that tribe. We were just like with one voice, talking about ending SARS, ending corruption, ending that. That scared the hell out of them because they didn't expect that. They didn't see that happening. They never expected that kind of thing could be able to happen. So it scared them. So that's why they are trying to pull all these gimmicks now, like, oh, we're sending somebody, we are trying to, it scared the hell out of them.
Ask, would there be like regarding this end SARS protest? I notice everywhere is calm, and the government is also using propaganda, to make everywhere calm. So, do you think that there will be a second wave? What do you guys think? Like second wave of this end SARS protest? Yeah, go on.
There will definitely be a second wave. Definitely. It
Yeah.
cannot be escaped. And in fact, this first wave was really coordinated and organized, and it was possible to predict. It was slightly predictable. You know, I believe that the second wave might not be predictable, might be uncontrollable, because the anger, the courage, and the audacity with which people will fire will break out this second time. Even the army and the police might not be able to control it this time around if
How
it
soon do you think it's
starts.
coming? How soon do you think it's coming?
I can't say how soon, but definitely within the next few months it will come.
Okay,
Because you
something,
know what I realized?
yeah,
There
go on.
is already the fire that started didn't stop actually.
Oh, yeah.
The NSARS and so many hashtags that are related to these conversations directly are still trending continuously.
Yeah.
Almost they're still trending almost continuously, almost without interruption. And a lot of Nigerian citizens outside around the world are are still coming out more,
They
and
sustain.
more protests are still going to erupt around the world. So for those of them who are in Lagos or other places around the world who might have been mourning the loss of people in Lekki, or a bit scared, or exhausted, and maybe stopped to take a break to think and strategize and meditate and had a few meetings and decide what to do, might soon find some resolution and hit the streets again. And it's going to happen very quickly
Definitely.
because already these palliatives that were discovered,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and so many other secrets, such as so many things that have become glaring, such as Desmond Elliot's matter, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
and other House of Representatives or senators, House of Representative members or senators speaking out and showing their true color and stuff like that
Yeah.
is waking up more people, is getting people angrier, is making things clearer to people. So a lot of people who might have been in doubt before, or who were not sure where to stand, who were still on the fence, are starting to shift.
Yeah.
They are moving towards the side of everyone, towards the people's side. And some people who were uncomfortable before with coming out or making their stand are being pressured, naturally based on incidents. They are forced to take a stand now. And as that happens, it's going to influence the second wave for sure. So by the time it starts, it might not stop this time around, and because they've already shot, trust governments to sometimes play themselves into trouble with what they did in Lekki. They've been doing it and getting away with it before.
Yeah,
It's not the
getting
first
Yeah,
time they've shot
yeah,
at at civilians. They've shot at citizens. I like to use that word citizens. They've shot at ordinary citizens with the military, opening fire on citizens before. So many times, even in this democracy and civilian regime, they've done it in to the Shiites in
yeah,
Kano.
yeah.
They've
And
also
there
done
was
it
no
to
social
the
media to videos. There was no.
and they've done it to IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra, protesters that were that were unarmed also in the east, in
Right.
southeast. So this is now doing that in Lagos has erased all doubts for those who thought, okay, the military can't do anything to us, or well, if we don't protest, or well, if we dodge the matter can dodge us. That's what we don't know does not know us. A lot of people have realized now that what you don't know can meet you where you are. So it has become there is like a national consensus among everyone now. So definitely if the second wave starts, it might be difficult to stop it this time around because it has already become clear to people, and because they've played this trick before, they've done crazy, they've made a crazy mistake already. They've made this crazy mistake. It might be difficult for them to try it again because now the eyes of the world will be on them.
On
You
them
see
and
what's been
that
happening,
is
right? Imagine them trying this again. There might be drone footage that will expose
so,
them.
so
You
this is the
know,
best time to come out back and protest. It's just that the fear to come out now, yeah, because now the highs they won't want to do this military stuff again. You are right. I saw Showore. Showore was protesting
in
again
Abuja. Yes.
yesterday, right? Or where?
Yes, today. Yeah, that was
That was
yes.
today. So they're like
Yes.
trying to bring the fire back again
Yeah.
and see. And then another thing that will goes on in Nigeria now is that the police are on strike, which is like a strange thing. Like no police. I
Well,
what do you think?
it's part of what they are playing. But another thing that you might not realize that is probably already happening in behind the scenes is that I think we're starting to win the police. It seems like a number of them who are innocent, who are reasonable, and who are really observing what's going on. It seems like some of them are starting to get the memo now.
Mhm.
So they might be standing with us already, even though it hasn't become obvious. So that's another thing. And again, for those of them, for most of them who might not be standing with us yet, they might have been given instructions, most likely from the way the Nigerian government operates. They might have given them instructions to stand down. For example, in Abuja, where they have sent DSS, sent the military, sent some SSS forces to distribute thugs, coordinate thugs, give them instructions and unleash them, and then told the police, giving police instruction to stand back, to ignore, which was evident in a lot of videos where they stood back and, where they were watching openly, allowing thugs to move, to carry out their actions. So I think for those of them who are not, who are still playing the card of the oppressors, they might have been given instruction to stay back. You know, so I don't think it might necessarily be a strike because they are also feeling the heat too. They can't
Okay.
they can't escape it. They are feeling that heat.
Okay. And well, that's these are what happened last week on yeah, I think we've touched all these major things that have happened last week on the headlines in Nigeria. So we're about coming to the end of this program. It's a 30 minutes talk. So next week we'll come back again for more new headlines and headline summary and every other stuff. So I want to say thank you to IK from Philly and
Yeah.
Oliserubuka from Indiana.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, you're
Thank
welcome.
you, Aki.
Yeah.
We will see by God's grace, hopefully next week Sunday, same time, we'll discuss about new happenings. And
Yeah.
so from me here, welcome to Diaspora Radio. You can leave your comments below and where is this YouTube stuff? How to end this live stream and peace. Let me see and.